President-elect Joe Biden says he is moving forward with his transition plans despite President Donald Trump not conceding the race. His remarks come as the official transition process between the White House and the Biden campaign remains in limbo. Emily Murphy, the head of the General Services Administration, is the person responsible for signing the paperwork necessary for the Biden campaign to receive money for transition funding and access to classified government information, but she has yet to do so. Joining me now on Skype is Dr. Paul Kengor, author and professor of political science at Grove City College in Grove City, Pennsylvania. Dr. Kengor, welcome back. Always great to see you.
Thank you, Tracy. Good to be back.
So the official term for what the General Services Administration does after an election is called ascertainment. Exactly what does that entail, and can you talk about how significant this delay is?
Yeah, it's a fancy term. It rhymes with entertainment, and that's kind of what this is becoming. But it's the job to ascertain who won the election, essentially, and really not to make the determination of that, but to proceed forward with the transition. So this is based on something called the Presidential Transition Act, which goes back to 1963, the year that John F. Kennedy was assassinated. It was updated in the year 2000 and 2019. And the General Services Administrator for the General Services Administration. So the GSA is an independent agency, and the person who runs it, her name is Emily Murphy. So she was appointed by Donald Trump. They're always appointed by the president. And it's her job to ascertain this going forward. And it's fascinating to watch the politics of this. I heard the clip from Chuck Schumer, Senator Schumer, in the previous segment, talking about not politicizing this. Well, he's politicizing it. Look, the president and the head of the GSA cannot make this determination simply because CNN and Fox and the AP have declared a winner. I mean, the media doesn't declare who wins an election. In fact, Real Clear Politics, which has been the go-to source for so many people for polling, they still have Pennsylvania too close to call. They have Arizona, which they haven't called yet. And as we speak, the difference in Arizona, I think, is about 15,000 votes. Wisconsin, now I believe, Tracy, is less than 20,000. They're both closer than Pennsylvania. So some of these states, Georgia, I think, is about 12,000. So these states are still close to call. And they're going to be called by various secretaries of state in the different states, various boards of election. It's not determined by Fox and the AP and CNN. And the Trump administration realizes that. So as much as the Biden team, I won't call it the Biden transition team, as much as the Biden campaign team wants to pressure the GSA into ascertaining this, the GSA really can't yet. It's too premature.
Yeah, I mean, Paul, I was just going to say that as several media outlets did declare Joe Biden the president-elect, his team is moving forward. And President Trump, as you know, has not conceded. That being said, can you talk a little bit more about where things stand right now, and what, if anything, will alter a Biden lead at this point?
Yeah, and look, it's right of the Biden team to make plans, to plan to move forward, and indeed, planning out a transition. Because, I mean, if you had betting odds at this point, it's probably 80 to 90% that Biden has it, but it's really not over. And so, I mean, Pennsylvania, the difference right now is 40-some thousand votes. It might be close to 48. And right now, Tracy, as we talked about on the show, I think it was on Friday, there are over 100,000 provisional ballots in the state of Pennsylvania. And I checked again before I came on. Donald Trump is winning those about 60-40, maybe even as high as 65-35. So if he ends up winning those provisional ballots by 20, 30,000 votes, that lead that Biden has in Pennsylvania is suddenly going to be within the 0.5% margin that, get this, automatically triggers a recount in the state of Pennsylvania. And the Trump administration doesn't need to take that to court. If it's within 0.5%, it's an automatic recount. So the ballots haven't even been stopped counting yet in Pennsylvania, even before the Trump administration continues with the legal challenge, which it has a right to do and really should do. So sorry to the Biden team, but this is going to take a little while. And look, 2000, Florida, Bush, Gore, it went into December. And this very well could go into December, too. In fact, I think it probably will.
Yeah, it does seem like we're in for a long haul, Paul.
It does. Sure does.
Well, thanks so much for your analysis. We really appreciate it. Dr. Paul Kengor, author and professor of political science at Grove City College in Grove City, Pennsylvania. Thanks again, Paul.
Thanks, Tracy.